Welcome back to the homie Squak, you juicy pork chops. I'm Kyle, and back with me are the usual peeps, Gigi, Hannah, and Trevor.
Hello.
Pork chops.
Juicy?
Alright, you guys aren't the pork chops. The audience is the pork chops, okay?
Oh,
So, it's alright.
That was obvious.
disappointing.
Yeah. And, before we officially get started, I'd just like to point out that this is our 10th episode, so
And last episode.
congrats on double digits. Jesus. Can't wait until we get to triple digits, am I right?
Cricket sounds.
Or even quadruple digits.
Fart
Will we be
noises.
alive that long?
Never mind. Anyway, we got some more questions and answers. And yeah, so Gigi, take it away.
Yes. Alright, let's go away now. Okay, my question is, do you remember how you met each person? Also, do you remember what your first impression of each other was, and were you right?
Well, I think I met you all in the same place, so that's a good start.
Yeah, seriously.
For real.
So I'm gonna go in random order because that's what I do.
Best.
Hannah's random.
You think Hannah? You think random? Oh god.
Hey, that's my clown horn. You can't have that. That's copyrighted to me.
Just a
Anyway.
sad squeak as it comes off.
All right.
God.
Anyway,
So, I think for Kyle, I don't exactly remember how I first met you.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, you're better than me. I know it was at the infamous Tarjay in Northern California, but I don't exactly remember if it was like during a zone or when you were training with someone, but I don't exactly remember it. I remember my first impression of you though,
Oh boy.
and I honestly thought you were another kid who would probably quit in 2 weeks.
Oh, dang.
Lo and behold, I
like-
lasted the longest there.
Well, at that specific target, sure.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I just kind of, I was like, this is another seasonal hire. He'll probably leave in about
Dang.
2 weeks.
I wasn't even a
That's
seasonal hire. I was there to stay.
Well, at the time I was like, he'll probably go.
Dang.
Obviously I was wrong. But I grew to know you as a great friend who was very kind and very empathetic and very funny. And I'm glad that I was wrong. I don't like to think of myself to like prejudge a lot of people, but first impressions are just first impressions.
Yeah.
But I am glad that I was wrong on that. Because you're really cool, Kyle.
I'm a cool cat.
You're a cool cat.
And those are my initials, so double cool.
Hey.
Oh, God.
For Trevor, I believe we met by the freezers.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I remember that Trevor was like working constantly in the freezer in the dairy coolers. And I remember my first impression was just pity because every time
That sounds about right.
Jeez.
every time he came out of there, he was like completely red faced, like just looked like he was having just such a miserable time in the freezers.
I actually liked it in there.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool
Well,
in
he
there.
looked miserable.
His face just looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked really sad and really red. But it did take me a while to figure out that he was with Gigi.
I think it
That
took
Yeah, 'cause
everyone
we
a
were
while.
professional.
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were very professional about it, so I
Too
was just sort of
professional.
like, oh.
Yeah. I think a lot of people found out the day we left. Like, wait, they were together?
Oh my
I
god, that's
feel like
fucked
I
up.
knew earlier than that, but it did take me a while. My other first impression of him was that he was like super quiet.
Yep.
Because I think every time we passed each other, it was just like a hey, hey.
Caveman style.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of got the impression like he's not going to talk to you unless you talk to him first.
Sounds about right.
And I
Yeah.
feel like I was mostly right about that. But I do think that one thing I've learned over the years is that I've definitely underestimated his confidence.
Sounds about right.
Oh my god.
And that's a summary of Trevor.
Sounds about right.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Take a drink every time Trevor says sounds about right.
About right, I know.
Yeah.
You'll be able to make it through this whole podcast.
Yep. Get your alcohols. And finally, for Gigi, because I put her last because that's the one I most vividly remember.
It was emotional.
Yes.
Oh my god.
There was so much tension.
In the
We
air.
met, yes, in the air. We met on a 4 a.m. shift doing the lovely ad
Yeah.
that we
Cute.
did for so long.
So,
And we used to have this thing on ad where, one person would either be on the stereo and put their music up, or everybody would play their own music to themselves. And so I just happened to be playing some System of a Down that day at 4 a.m.
yes.
As one does.
And yeah, as one does,
How do
to
you
wake
also wake
themselves
up?
up. Wake up!
Pretty much.
And so I just remember like doing the thing, and then like this little head peeks around the corner from the other aisle, and it's
Oh my
like,
god.
"Hey, is that System of a Down?"
Yeah.
And so at first, like my first impression, like right there, was that this girl's weird,
Yeah.
but not like for her being weird. Just it's weird that she's talking to me because I was very like self-conscious about everything. I was also very impressed that she was like into System of a Down and like recognized it, because most people are just like, what is that noise?
What is happening?
But she was like the first person who was like, hey, is that System of a Down? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I also got the impression too, as we like started to talk to each other, that she talks like a mile a minute. Like she's like literally one of the Gilmore Girls, because she's like just talks without a breath for so long.
Trevor just calls it mumbling.
She does mumble.
But I think I nailed that one a little bit. As far as my first impression, I think I was mostly right on that one. But I was also, glad to learn that she was kind and very, very quick-witted.
I know.
And that, she's a very caring person. So
Aw.
y'all are cool, guys.
Cool.
Y'all are real cool.
Thanks.
But I'm the only cool cat. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way.
But yeah, that's how I
Nice.
mostly remember it.
Very
Nice.
nice. Good stuff. All right. So I'll go in alphabetical. So like Hannah, I also met everybody at Target, because that's where we all met. So
Yeah.
so I met Gigi at Target, and I can't say the exact moment when we met, but I do remember like one of the main reasons we ended up becoming friends was just because we worked in the same department. and I feel like we worked really well together.
Mhm.
And it's just because we're really good at our job. No big
Yeah,
deal.
we were like, they were like, oh, Gigi and Kyle, they got that. That's fine.
Oh yeah, we're experts, professionals, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
And one distinct memory early on was one day I asked our boss if there was any chance I could get a certain night off or switched to like a morning shift because it was my grandma's birthday. And I didn't realize at the time I didn't realize I worked that night until I went in and looked at the schedule for that night. I don't remember what day of the week it was, but um, and then immediately she's like, yeah, of course. I bet Gigi will take it. No problem. And then
Yeah,
she's
no
like,
worries.
yeah. And then she's like, I'll get back to you on that. And then on the same day, she came back to me and she said that Gigi would switch, and that sort of right off the bat kind of gave me the impression that Gigi was very generous and giving. Um,
The two G's in her name.
Sarah
oh,
got the secrets.
yeah, generous giving. That's what we'll just call her from now on.
Oh my god.
Generous giving. Where are you?
Only my mom
But-
calls me that.
I think those qualities of her are true, and I think they're still a part of who she is. And then another funny thing to add to that is, although she did, end up switching with me, she seemed pretty reluctant to do so. I later found out.
Yes.
Because eventually she told me, she's like, I didn't really want to switch with you, but I felt like I had no choice or something like that.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of bad, and I was like, don't worry, you don't have to do it for me ever again. Because she was just telling me she prefers the morning shifts, and I think the reason that you told me was because both you and Trevor worked in the mornings, and it was just kind of different because you had to stay, and
Yeah,
Trevor
because we had
wasn't with
one
you,
car.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
just kind of
That's the main
complicated your day.
Just a
So
little.
I apologize
two
for
Gs.
that.
The two G's morphed from giving and generous to guilt trip and got him.
But I figured, like, if I do that, like, because she was like, oh, Kyle's gonna be, the C&D person with you. I was like, okay, well, I mean, I can switch, but it was more of like, if I switch now and I need to switch later, then I can be like, hey, you remember when I switched with
Yeah,
you?
I'd owe you.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever repaid you for that.
No, never. Still hate you to this day.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Oh, man.
And then for Hannah, an early memory of Hannah. I'm pretty sure this is when we officially met, her and I. It was after I transferred to her department, which was in stocks, and she was the one that actually trained me and taught me a lot of what I knew while I worked in that department. And our first day together, we started at 4 a.m. and that was one of my first like 4 a.m. shifts. And upon working with her, she seemed very grumpy and kind of just over it and going through the motions.
Oh my god.
Which
I was
is
in college, man.
which I mean, to be fair, it's understandable because it's the job. It's not. It's a pretty bland job, and it was a lot of the same things and the same tedious tasks every day. So I get it. I learned to understand exactly where she was coming from and why she was that way. But when we actually, when we were talking and when she was training me, she was like very genuine and very like helpful. So I appreciated that. She didn't take any of her ill feelings towards Target out on me. she was very nice to me, and I appreciated that. And I think that holds up to today because she doesn't like a lot of things around her, but her core, group of friends and people that she's talking with, she's very genuine with them. So, yeah. and
Kudos to you, Hannah.
and thanks to that job and the day that I trained with you, it spawned the friendship that we have now. So
Aw,
yeah.
Aww.
right in the feels.
Yeah, I can hear Trevor over there. He's crying. I can hear
Yeah.
it.
He's like,
Speaking
"It's my turn."
speaking of Trevor, I
Oh,
can
big boy Trevor.
I can't recall a distinct moment where I met Trevor.
This is gonna be romantic, isn't it?
Obviously,
He's like, I
I
remember
think
all my moments with Trevor.
I think of all of us, Trevor was the one I saw the least around Target, just because he worked in the back room and I worked on the sales floor, so there wasn't a lot
Yeah.
of conversation between him and I at the store. But if I remember correctly, though, and I think Hannah already said this, but Trevor was kind of the guy that was going in and out of the freezer a lot, and he always had that big puffy coat on for going in and out of the freezer, and he like every time I saw him in the back room, even if he wasn't in there near the freezer, he still had it on because I think he was eventually going to go back in there.
Yeah.
So there was just a time where I just thought of him as the tall blonde guy in the freezer.
Vanilla
then-
ice cream in the freezer.
Yeah. And then as Gigi and I became closer friends, I learned that her and Trevor were dating. And to be honest, the first time I heard that, it kind of blew my mind because before I got to know you two as a couple, I tried to like compare you guys being together, and I was like, how does that doesn't seem right. Are you sure, Trevor? Are you sure? Yeah. So
He's so tall and she's so short.
yeah,
so
it just
quiet,
I
she's so
totally
loud.
didn't like, I don't know, I couldn't imagine that. And then it's even funnier now because I've known you guys and you two are like inseparable, and so it's just
Well,
it's
I
really
try to.
but she just clings on to you.
Yeah.
She won't let go.
I can't let go. It's in
Yeah.
my destiny.
But when it comes to Trevor, I feel like I didn't really get to know him until eventually I was invited to the group to do game days. I think Trevor. I don't remember like distinctly, but I remember in my head maybe I was like, oh yeah, Trevor's like the only one I don't really know that well. But now
Yeah,
we get
look at you
along.
two.
Yeah, now we get along really well. So I'm glad that we all met, and yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will also go in alphabetical order because my life has uh, orderly stuff to it.
Oh man.
Order, my god.
All right, so Gigi, unlike you losers, I actually met her outside of Target.
Oh man.
It was at Walmart.
The parking lot of Target.
Right outside.
No, we actually met at I don't think it was my previous job, but back when I was working at Scholastic Book Fairs. Um, and uh, I remember the first time we met. Eric, who was the warehouse manager, he was just kind of like giving me a tour of everybody, and she was over in cases, which, if anyone remembers, um, Scholastic Book Fairs at their schools, like there were like tables with just a bunch of books on them and like open cases, like these giant, tall
Metal
metal cases that had books inside them.
displayed, yeah.
Yeah, and then she worked there at the beginning, and then I just said hi to her, and then just kind of like moved on.
Hi.
Yeah.
Just walked away.
Well,
He
'cause
yells
there's
in her
more people
face.
to meet. Yeah,
No,
move
he
it,
had
shrimp.
he had a squat.
Yeah. But I think more importantly than that, uh, I remember she was wearing a Batman shirt one day, which is when I think I decided to like start talking to her more.
Pursue her.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember thinking like she's wearing a Batman shirt. Like not a whole lot of girls are into like the comic book type stuff. So like I gotta at least go for it. At
Yeah.
least try. So I think my first impression of her was she was also pretty quiet. Like she had her group that she always talked to, but like anyone
Her
outside the
gang.
group, she didn't really talk to a
The
whole lot.
homies.
And then she got switched to tabletops, which is where I was. Tabletops is where you grab books off the shelf, put them in these boxes that go onto the tables. Therefore, tabletops.
Hmm.
And I got to know her a little bit more through that. And then obviously we're dating now, so I know her even more than then.
One would
So
think.
one would think.
I still don't think he talks to me.
So,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
if she had a Robin shirt on, would it be any different?
Okay, now I know you're talking about Batman Robin, but like, does it just say Robin? Is it just like a picture
It's
of the
simple.
bird Robin?
No,
Like, give me
it's
specifics here.
yeah, it's Robin, like actual
Like his
Robin.
little
Okay.
costume shirt.
Yeah, so like if it had his logo on it, then yeah, sure.
But if it was just the
Because
bird,
it's still if it's a bird, like oh she's a bird enthusiast, might want to stay away from her.
Gross.
she might shit
Too
on me
much watch
later.
birds.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Okay,
bird
that's all I
watchers
needed
are
to
just
know.
perverts who have an excuse to have binoculars outside so they can like stare into people's windows.
You know, it's funny that you say that. My grandma does exactly that.
Into people's
Not the
windows?
no. She's a bird watcher. She like
Uh-huh.
literally studies birds and like she has like all these notebooks and writes it
Yeah,
all down and stuff.
bird is slang for women, right?
Yeah, but
What's wrong with that? She's an old woman. She doesn't know. She doesn't know what's
she
going on.
doesn't know.
Okay.
That's
And
old
then
people's
the other two,
excuses.
honestly, I don't remember meeting you two at all.
Oh, that's good.
I kind of categorized everyone at Target into like backroom and not backroom. So
It's the safest.
yeah.
Gang wars at
So
Target.
I don't remember meeting you guys. I don't even remember first impressions.
Well, you had to have
But
something when we invited them over.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I met you guys before then. Like, you don't just meet someone for the first time at a game day at your house. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm sure we talked at least a little
A
bit.
couple times.
Probably had
yeah.
lunch together a few times, maybe. Like with all
My
of
name's
us.
Hannah. That's Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I went with the one. I just went in. I'm just gonna say what I wrote. Okay, so for Hannah, um, so we have the same story. She was playing System of a Down while we were doing ad, and I was like, oh, someone else listens to them, and I was like really excited. So then like I had to
Oh God.
ask and check to make sure. She knew who they were and she wasn't just playing them randomly.
It was Gigi's imagination.
Randomly at 4 a.m.
Yeah, well, I don't know. People play Pandora, and then like when you ask them, like, "Oh, do you know who this is?" and they're just like, "Oh no, it's just on my Pandora station or something." So I was just like, I need to know if she actually knew who they were,
Yeah.
and she did. So I was excited. And then like my first impression of her was quiet and like possibly nerdy because she wore like Spider-Man shirts. I remember she wore a Spider-Man shirt and a Star Wars shirt. She wore it.
Constantly.
Yeah, and I was just like, she could be nerdy or she just likes the logos. So yeah, and then turns out I was right. She was nerdy.
She did like the logos.
Yes. Okay, and then for Kyle, the introduction was
Introduction.
or what met him was um doing C&D. I do remember because someone left and they were like, oh, you're gonna get someone else to help you in C&D, and I think they were saying it was Kyle and someone else, and I was like, I don't know who Kyle is, but okay. And then when I first met him, my impression of him was like he was kind of like to himself, but he talked, but like not really give too much information. And then I thought, well, he's probably like very immature, so maybe he just doesn't want to say anything. I don't know. And then, you know, turns out he's probably
He is
a little more.
immature,
He's like a little more mature, but he's still immature.
but in a good
Yeah.
way.
In a good
He
way,
was gonna
you
quit
know.
in 2 weeks, anyways.
Yeah, according to
knowing
Hannah,
that.
I'm only a seasonal member.
Even though they're seasonal, even though it wasn't a
Yeah.
seasonal hiring time.
Exactly.
And then Trevor, I do remember meeting him when Eric was showing the new people around in the warehouse, and I remember him walking. I can't remember who else the other guy he was with. I want to say Josh or something like that. I don't know, it was Trevor and this other guy. And then I remember him going, "This is Trevor, this is blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, hi." And I was leaving for the day. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I thought Trevor was really cute. So I was just like looking at him. And then I kept walking. And then like there's like waves in the aisles to get like the top books off. And then they had to honk the horn at me because I was going to walk by the dividers. And I was like, oh shit. And then, yeah, then he talked to me in the break room, and then I had to move into tabletops, and then I was like, yeah, but it was kind of weird because Trevor didn't really talk in the break room a lot, but he did talk to the guys in tabletops
Well,
a lot.
okay,
The
this was
bros.
Scholastic. They
Yeah.
encouraged reading. Like
They
you would spend the
did.
first 15 minutes of your shift reading. Like
Reading.
they would pay you to read.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So like I
Whoa.
read every time I was
He was able to.
on my break.
Yeah. So he didn't talk a lot in the
Interesting.
break room, which is fine. But he did talk a lot in the when he's in tabletops. And when I first moved over, my other coworker knew that I liked him, and she's like, "Oh, you guys can talk. Oh my God, you guys are gonna get married." And I was just like, "Shut up! We're just gonna talk." And then, yeah,
Lo and behold.
yeah, it was funny.
Such a rom-com thing for you to do, to almost walk into a wave and then have to like honk at
Yeah.
you.
The other thing was I dropped a book in his face.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
You guys were meant to be together.
Totally.
Yeah. I felt so bad. Oh man. And then he offered to give me a ride home because I lost the contact.
You lost what?
I lost the
What?
contact.
That wasn't the reason why.
I thought that was.
Lost the contacts?
just-
What is that?
Like
I
a contact
wore
lens.
contacts. and
Oh, your
one of them
contacts. Okay.
ripped. Yeah.
I
and
figured
can't
that's what you
wear
meant.
it.
Okay.
I've been meaning to give you a ride home for a while.
Oh. That just happened to be
Still
the day.
today?
Yes, still
Yeah.
today.
Still waiting
No, I
for you
just-
to give me that ride home.
Well, I knew she took the bus home, and I'm like, I have a car, and I have nothing to do after this. I can drive you home.
And then do
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah, we
Wow.
eventually like went to the mall. Like we went to the mall a lot.
Yeah, we did. We went to the mall a lot. And we talked
There's
about
that
movies.
immaturity.
Yeah,
Kyle.
Kyle.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Anyways, that's it.
Cool.
Cute. Someone will put it in a storybook someday.
Someday.
And then we were like, hey, that's our story.
Hey. My question now?
Yeah.
Yep.
My question now?
Let's do this shit.
My question for this week was for everyone to pick a vine or two, and pick one for each person in the group that like best represents them, and then explain yourself.
Oh boy. All right. So, like I was telling you guys before the show, I sat down and watched like at least an hour of like old vines because I was never really that into it. But yeah, I found some pretty good ones for each of you guys. For Gigi, I'll do my best to explain all of them. The vine is this guy. I guess he's like off of school or something. I'm not really sure, or it's just for the sake of the vine. I don't know. But he has his backpack, and I think he throws his backpack to the side, and then I think it's like a voiced over thing. But he just says, "Fuck this shit, I'm out," and then he jumps into a trash can,
Oh my god.
and that's the vine.
Oh my god.
I feel like that would be Gigi.
Oh Jesus.
A good one.
Cause she'll get over something and she'll just be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Oh my god.
So that was for her, and then for Hannah, this one might be
Oh,
a
no.
little, it might be a little dark, but I thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
So
Bring it on.
it was another Vine. It was this guy. He set up like this like sitcom introduction, and then the title of the sitcom, so to speak, was Completely Giving Up, and then it was
Oh my
like
God.
starring me,
Oh yeah.
and introducing me. It was just various shots of himself.
I do remember that
I love that one.
And then for Trevor, this one really cracked me up because there were a few that went through my mind for Trevor. Well, no, I'll let you guys do yours, so I'm not like stealing anyone's. But the one that I ended up going with for Trevor, it was this guy sitting at a keyboard, and he was just playing some random tune. I don't know what it was, doesn't matter. And he's just like kind of half singing this line, and he says, "Is there anything better than pussy? Yes, a really good book."
That's a Bo
And,
Burnham one, isn't
It
it?
is so Burnham.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's so Trevor. So yeah, those are mine.
Nice.
That fits really well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start with myself because apparently I'm the only one that thought of myself to do myself. So for
You would.
me,
It's
It's
she
all
did was
Gigi.
herself.
yeah, I have 10 pages about myself. No, so for me, I put this guy. He's walking up the staircase, and then someone scares him, and he goes, "Ah, stop! I could have dropped my croissant."
Oh yeah.
I put that as me.
Oh,
Because
man.
that would be me. Because I get mad at Trevor for scaring me all the time. And I'd be really mad if he scared me and I was holding, like, food.
But would it be a
Uh,
croissant?
Maybe not a croissant, but, like,
Drop
if it was,
my
like, a taco
croissant.
or something, I'd be upset.
A taco.
And then for Hannah, I put the mother trucker kid who's, like, he gets slapped or he gets hit. And he was like, oh, that hurt like a mother trucker. Something about stick and a butt cheek. I don't
Mother
know.
trucker, dude. That hurt like
Yeah.
a butt cheek on a stick.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
that made me think of Hannah.
Know it word by word. I don't think I know
Yeah.
that one.
That's what made me think of Hannah. And then for Kyle, it's like this little kid, and he's unwrapping a present, and it's an avocado, and the way he says it, he's just like, "It's an avocado." Thanks.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
feel like that would be Kyle because he'd be too nice to be like, "What the fuck is it?"
Yeah.
He'd just be like, "Thanks."
I mean, I wouldn't complain if I got an avocado as a present.
Oh man. And then for Trevor, I put there's like this guy and he's just kind of sitting there with sunglasses on, and then this other guy comes and just slaps him, and he goes, "I can't believe you've done this."
Yeah.
That's who I picked for Trevor. Yeah.
Those are great. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did not think of one for myself. But for for you guys, for Trevor, it was I thought of two. One was this Vine where it's like the setting is a party, and this girl is doing these like smoke circles,
Oh
and then they turn the
Yeah.
camera to the guy sitting next to him, and he's just like, "Wow."
That's literally what I was gonna pick.
Yeah.
That just read to me as Trevor's attitude. I was just like, yeah, that would be
Wow.
him. And then the other one for Trevor I picked was the little kid who gets on there and he has the camera way too close to his face and he's just like, I love myself. Even though I look like a burnt chicken nugget, I
Oh,
love
geez.
myself. I was just like, yeah, I think Trevor's confidence like speaks volumes. So,
Yeah.
I
I can see that.
liked that one. For Kyle, it was hard to pick one, but there was a couple. The first one was like, I don't know what song it is, but it's a guy singing the song back and forth to himself, and it just keeps getting like more and more intense every
God.
time, and it ends
Oh,
with like,
geez.
"Die for each other."
Oh, yeah. I've
School
seen that
for
one.
the
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the song, but like just the facial expressions of the guy throughout and how it gets more and more intense. That just like, I don't know. I pictured Kyle doing that. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. Another one was the one with the batteries, where the guy is going through all of the A batteries. So for
Yeah.
double A, he's like, ah,
Yeah.
triple A, ah, and then like quadruple A, ah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. For Kyle, it's just like anything that like starts off sort of mellow and then goes into like super intense by the end, that just makes me think of him. I feel like he's very much
From
that
0
way.
to 10.
Like, yeah, from 0 to 10 in like 2 seconds. So that was the ones for Kyle, and then for Gigi, I had 3.
Oh, geez.
Just because I know you like, you know vines. So, the first one is the lady that comes into, I think it was on reality TV or something.
Oh my god.
The
I think I know
lady
which
that
one it
comes
is.
in with a pan and a pot and just starts hitting them together to
Oh,
the beat
yeah.
of her own songs. I didn't get no sleep because of y'all. Now y'all don't got no sleep because of me. She's just like just hitting these pots and pans together. It's total GG energy.
Yes.
The second one was the guy who has like, I don't know if he had heels on or whatever, but he runs into the room and he's on the phone. He's like, and he like flops himself down onto the couch and he's like, Brian.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
It's just like very, very like flamboyant and very funny.
Sounds like Gigi.
It sounds like, yeah, you could see Gigi doing that. And then the last one was this guy is playing not Sticks, but it's one of the songs that they play in Big on the piano, and I forget what it's called, but he's just playing it on the piano all nice, and then this other guy jumps in the camera and starts dancing, but it's like rap dancing to it.
Yeah.
And it just fits so perfectly with the beats.
Are you talking about when they're playing Sticks? And, like,
Was it Sticks?
I think it's Sticks.
Because
I
I
don't
thought
know.
I don't know. It's the one that goes like ding 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 ding.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
With
I don't know
with
that
I saw that one
underlying
earlier.
beat. Yeah. The guy
my
jumping in and doing the rap dancing, that's Gigi.
Oh, God.
So yeah, those were my picks.
Nice.
I do want to say one more for Trevor. Was because Trevor, he's pretty like matter of fact, and the other one that I thought of putting was the one where the guy's driving and then he sees the road work ahead sign, and then he looks back at the camera and he's like, road work ahead, I sure hope it does.
Oh, man.
So yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yes, this thing.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's.
Let's
So
make it awkward.
I don't know. It's not gonna be awkward. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So
Sure.
my question is, I feel like when we first talked about it, I probably worded it wrong. So I just want to say it's like a non-personal experience. Okay. So so the
But it
question.
happened to me.
No, it didn't. Oh my God. Okay. I was going to say it. In a non personal experience, what is a story or something you witnessed involving sex when you were growing up? How was sex brought up to you? And do you remember the first time you learned about it? Again, non personal experience. Okay.
Why do you want to know
Okay.
this?
So the first time I had sex,
Oh my god.
no.
Coming in hot.
So I don't know how old I was, but I was probably like 8 or 9, and a neighbor, um, she brought me over to her house,
Oh no.
and we started watching American Pie,
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
which is not for children.
No.
Oh jeez.
Although it's
I
very
remember,
childish.
I don't know what scene it was, but I started feeling really sick, so I run to the bathroom and I start dry heaving.
Ew.
Damn.
Yeah, nothing happened, but I went back out to the living room where her older brother was, and he's like, "You guys should not be watching this."
Yeah.
So, kind of lame. I do have other stories, but I'm going to keep those to myself, especially not put them on the internet. So, uh, that's my story.
Okay.
Forever traumatized by American Pie.
I know.
Hasn't watched it since.
I
That's
have never
weird.
seen that movie.
That's weird though, because I mean, you said you were 9.
I don't know exactly how old I was, but I was pretty young.
That's not really a movie you should be watching.
No. Okay. So the year's 2000. The internet's at its peak.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so there was news of X-Men becoming a movie, and the trailer was out, and YouTube was, I think, kind of starting, but not really.
No,
Not in
YouTube was
2000.
2007.
Oh yeah, so it didn't even start yet.
I thought
So
2005.
anyways, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyways, so my dad, who's really into comic books and superhero stuff, was really excited and wanted to show us the trailer. We didn't see it, and he was really excited. So, anyways, I remember because it's like this tiny little space in the house where the computer was, and he's like, "Come, look! I'm gonna show you." So he types in X-Men into the computer, and he doesn't
Oh
add
no.
the little dash in between X and men.
So it's just X-Men.
So
Oh
it's just
no.
X-Men. And all of a sudden, there's just like half-naked chicks
How do
popping
you?
up on the computer.
How does the computer go? You type in X-Men and naked women pop up. I don't understand
Because
that.
it's X-rated. I have
Yeah,
no
but like
idea,
men. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But there was
I mean,
women.
Mystique was naked the whole movie.
That is true.
Hmm.
But it was not Mystique. Yeah, I just remembered the sound, the moaning coming out of the speakers.
Oh God.
Oh no.
He was like, "Oh no! Oh no! He told us to look away and like we couldn't figure out how to close it. And I just remember him going, "Oh my God! Don't tell your mom."
Oh
Oh
man.
Your
man.
mother.
Oh man, it's still a joke though. Still tell him. Remember X-Men?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Eventually we saw the trailer though. Don't worry.
The real one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still naked chicks in this.
Oh man, pop-ups were a thing.
Oh boy. For mine, I think it was also related to a movie. Like, I can't remember what age I exactly was when all of that was like introduced to me because my parents kept us like pretty sheltered. Even like PG-13 movies we were not allowed to watch until we were 13.
Damn.
Wow.
But I do remember, I think I was a little bit younger than 13 when I saw Titanic for the first time.
Jeez.
Titanic.
And
Yeah.
I remember being really, really uncomfortable during the "Draw Me Like One of Your French Girls" scene. I was like,
Oh God.
why would you want to draw that?
Like, I
Oh
know.
no.
But then what really traumatized me
Oh no.
was after that when
Steamy car?
yeah, the steamy car.
Oh
And
Yeah.
I will
God.
forever be traumatized by the hand on the steamy window. I
Oh.
didn't
my
know what they were
God.
doing at the time. I was just like, why is it so steamy in that car?
Is she getting hurt? Is she okay?
You guys are breathing too much. You should roll down the windows. And then all of a sudden it was like, hand. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Is this a zombie movie now?
Yeah. That would be pretty
Oh
cool.
my God.
But yeah, that
On a
movie
boat.
traumatized me a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right. So for mine, I don't know. I have a lot, to be honest. But
Oh
Jeez.
no.
but there was one time I was probably in 5th grade, maybe somewhere around there, and I was at my friend's house for a sleepover. I think it was his birthday, and so it was me and my friend, and then another one of his friends that was kind of my friend. But anyway, so there's 3 of us, and his house had a sunroom that connected from the living room to the backyard. So like the sunroom was kind of like our hangout spot. So we would hang out in there, and he had video games um, and like board games and all that kind of stuff. And he had an older brother who was in high school at the time, and his brother left his laptop in the sunroom, and
Oh no.
and we were we I don't remember the context of why we wanted to use the laptop. I think we were trying to like figure something out or something like that. So we were like, oh, let's just use your brother's laptop to try and find the answer. Um, so we grabbed the laptop, and then literally as soon as we open it, there's no home page, there's no password or nothing. We just
Oh,
open
God.
it, and it's right in the middle of a porn video. And
Oh God.
we're just like so this is like my first time experiencing that particular intense shit. So, and it was not like it was hardcore. Like it was bad.
Jesus.
So it was right in the middle of it, and
Oh God.
it was this lady with like these disgustingly big tatas. Like they were they were obviously
Oh my
fake.
God.
And then the guy just had this monster dong. It was really
Oh God.
and it was awful. I remember it so vividly because it was like my first like ever look at something
You
like
were
that.
scarred.
And I was like, I gotta remember my initial reaction was like, oh my God. And then he quickly he quickly like shut it off. And then they were laughing, but for a minute I was like kind of like taken back by it. I was like, that was disgusting. But then after a while I lightened up and laughed at it.
Yeah.
And then for some reason my friend opened it again and kept watching it. I was like, dude, shut that shit off. It's gross.
He was like, but let me just keep looking real quick for science.
Yeah, for science. for
Don't look
for
away.
research.
Yeah, research purposes. Oh my God.
And then yeah, it was pretty funny though. And we never told his brother that we saw that. Like we just kind of were like, it was something that we always joked about every now and then. We're like, never
Not
open your
be able to
brother's
look at his
laptop
brother.
again. Yeah, he was kind of, I don't know. He was very like I guess, socially awkward, and kind of you. I remember because like I would go over to his house for sleepovers until like I was in high school. So like by the time we were in high school, his brother was already like an adult, but he was still living with his parents, and you could hear him all the time in his bedroom, like listening to porn. It was kind of. I think he had a
Oh
problem.
God.
Did he
Yeah.
just like blast it?
Well, I mean, he wasn't very discreet about it. Like you could just hear it on his laptop speakers, like if you listen closely.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Um and then I'd like to share another one because it's embarrassing but also pretty funny. So
Jeez.
so fast forward a year, 6th grade. Um I think 6th grade for me was like the sweet spot because in 5th grade, that's when I was first introduced to like sexual education in school. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then in 7th grade, they kind of rehashed it and they taught us more about it, like more in depth. So 6th grade was kind of like the year where I knew about it, but I didn't really know a lot about it, and I was kind of, I don't know. I was still innocent, I feel like. So in 6th grade, um, at school one day, our class was in the library, and we were trying to do some kind of research project. So we were all split up into groups, and it was a group project. And I was paired up with a bunch of like immature boys, just like myself, kind of at the time, and we weren't doing the project at all. Like there was no way we were gonna do that and finish it. And
Uh-huh.
then so we started like looking up random shit on Google Images, like just random
Oh no.
random stuff.
Oh,
And to my in my defense, I was kind of a bystander. I wasn't like, yeah, type this in. I was just kind of watching and laughing along.
Jeez.
And then so one of the guys was like, "Oh, type in boobs," and then he typed
Oh my
in
God.
he typed in boobs, and for whatever reason, Google just pulled up like the most disgusting looking boobs out there. Like it was like these balloons that looked like balloons.
Oh God.
I meant to say boobs that looked like balloons, but they were balloons, like they're huge. And I just remember looking at some of them, and I was like, "Is that what women look like when they get older?" But it obviously wasn't. They were all just like fake. But yeah, those are my
Oh,
stories.
jeez.
I have a bunch more, but
wow.
I don't want to take up the whole freaking time.
Okay, so moving on from that.
From boobs.
Boob.
Yeah.
Babes.
Right, so my question is, what is your favorite style of sex? I mean, no, art. And
Oh
then
God.
follow up, what is your least favorite? Judy?
My favorite sex is.
Oh my god.
So it took me a while to realize art could have been anything, but I'm just gonna go with what I picked. So my least favorite, and this is for painting, or yeah, painting, I guess, is abstract expressionist and cubism.
Oh.
Yeah. And my favorite is pop art.
Ooh, that's
That's
a
it? You
good
don't want to
one.
expand that at all?
Well, what do you want me to say?
Tell us why you
Just
don't
like
like it
it.
and why you do
I
like it.
don't like abstract expressionism because to me it's just a bunch of paint being thrown everywhere and it has no purpose, and I don't know, it just looks stupid. I don't like it. Like,
Damn.
some of it can be okay, but no, I don't like it. I've never been a big fan of abstract, which is really weird because I like unusual things, and I'm sure abstract is meant to be strange and unusual, but I just don't like it. And then cubism, ever since learning about it in school, I've always hated it because I didn't get the point. Why make geometric shapes when you can have natural flowing lines and, I don't know, not harsh lines? And then pop art because of the colors. Very
They
colorful.
really
It's
pap.
very, yeah, it really paps. Like I remember when I first started taking art in high school, I learned about Andy Warhol, and then I learned about him more when I started doing graphic design. And I even did a piece inspired by him. I just loved the colors he chose and how he made it stand out of the ordinary. Especially like he took something simple like a can of soup and made it into a colorful piece of art.
Well, especially the idea behind it too.
Yeah.
When everything is so mass-produced, only the flaws will stand out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that better.
Much better. Much better.
For mine, I would say my least favorite. I'm not a huge fan of Picasso's stuff.
Isn't
I
it
think it's
cubism?
cubism.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cubism and even just like abstract stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like things that are more orderly, I guess, in art. Like, if you're looking at a person, on a screen, I don't expect like their eyes to be where their butt is, or like, I
I
just
do.
like that sense. I like that sense of normalism in the stuff that I like, where the anatomy's on point, and you know everything is very orderly, and maybe that's just my like OCD, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of things being off. I had a teacher actually in college who he would draw these or do these paintings of just eyeballs, and it's
Oh.
like realistic human eyeballs, but they'd be like all over the painting. And there's people that are into that, and he's very popular for it, but I could never get behind it. I was always just like, oh, it's a bunch of mess of eyeballs. I don't like it.
There's no
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, they need to be on a face.
Where's the
So,
face, though?
yeah. I'm also not a fan of those like salt portraits that people do. Mostly because I can't do it, and I don't know how people do it, like where they'll make an entire piece out of salt.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
It's kind of crazy. Like there's some people that can do some really cool stuff with it, but I'm not a huge fan of it because A, I can't do it, and B, it seems like it would take just forever. If the
Yeah.
wind changes all of a sudden, or if you breathe, like half your painting is gone.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Yeah, for sure.
It'd be a little too particular. For my favorite, though, I'd have to say that my favorite style is very graphic, comic booky style, where there's like super bold lines. There's, obviously there's different types of comics, but a lot of the comics that I like are a little more cartoony. I also really like the use of halftones in comics. Like, I've always just thought that was such a cool concept of having all those little halftone dots all over everything, and makes it feel like kind of old. I think they used it in some like really, really old pop art too, where they'd have like these halftones and then really bright colors, and then like Marilyn Monroe on top of it or something like that. And that'd be really cool. But yeah, I like things with really thick lines and really, yeah, like big. Just like really graphic looking. I like that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for me, I took a different route based on the question. So there's a lot of types of different art out there, and I think
Detour.
I think I think whenever someone thinks of the word art, they think of paintings and drawings and stuff. But for me, I consider music art, which it is. That's more of a fact than an opinion. But
we're gonna argue with you on that.
yeah. So for my favorite, I'm gonna go with music because it's a type of art that I'm most familiar with, and there's so many different volumes um, to express itself. Whether it's through the lyrics or the melody or the instrumentation, it has a never-ending variety of expression, and so that's my favorite. And then my least favorite, it's hard to really pick because personally, I'm not very familiar with art, like the types of art. So I had to do a little bit of research, and one that came to mind, and I talked to my girlfriend about this briefly. I just asked her if it was art, and she said yes. So I'm gonna go with it and say it's art.
So she said it's okay.
Yeah. So if I had to choose a least favorite for the sake of answering the question, I would say photography, just because
Oh.
just because I feel like it's the only type of art you don't really make up yourself. You kind of use the world to create it for you.
I feel
And
so attacked right now.
hold on, I'm not done. And seeing a picture, to me, it's not that satisfying. And I've heard the saying that like pictures don't, they don't really express, the beauty of wherever the picture is being taken. And I think it's true. I think it's better if it's something you experience in person as opposed to um, in a photograph. But with that being said, I'm not trying to knock photography. I mean, I know it's more than just pushing a button on a camera. There's a lot of work that goes
Is it
into it.
though?
Well,
Oh,
I don't know any technical terms, but there's angles and there's certain lighting and certain moods that you can capture within a picture. And I understand that it's a lot more complex than just pushing a button. Um, but I just think of all the art styles, that one doesn't speak to me that much, because it doesn't really offer a lot to the imagination, since the picture is most of the time just being taken in a place I can go myself.
Hey,
Okay.
Kyle,
Yeah.
look at this photograph.
Got
Oh man.
Every time I do, it makes me go, ew. Sorry. Continue, Trevor.
I muted my sound. Okay. So for me, I stuck with drawing, the medium of drawing, painting, and I will do, I guess, my least favorite, end it on a positive. So my least favorite is abstract. Um, I think I agree with Gigi, but for me, it's more of like, I understand the whole premise of, it's not like, oh, I can do that if I had like the time and whatever. It's more of a who did it first, but still the like art to me, like if you go to like a museum of like paintings and whatever, and like they're supposed to evoke emotion or whatever, like you're supposed to portray what you're thinking onto a canvas or whatever you're um, painting on.
Hmm.
And for me, abstract takes all the work and puts it on the viewer, which I feel is pretty lazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like whatever they
Because,
interpret
yeah,
as the
like you
viewer.
put like a rectangle and then like you throw in a line with like a different color and like that's supposed to mean something to you, the artist. Like, no, it's a square and a line, but like you see it in a museum and everyone will come up and go like, "Oh, I think they meant this," or "This is how it makes me feel." Like, to me, they're just putting all the work onto the viewer.
Yeah.
It's like that moment in Parks and Rec, where they're making the collage, and Tom
That's
has this like
exactly what I thought of. Yeah.
abstract thing, and he's like looking at the dots. He's like, I've been looking at this circle for like 30 minutes. What does it mean?
it make me feel
And
things.
at the
Yeah.
end, he's like, "I've been staring at this for 3 hours. I'm crying." Okay. And my favorite is Impressionism, which uses, I guess, think like bold strokes, and you don't really mix paint at all. So like the colors really pop.
Mhm.
And then more importantly to me is the idea behind it. Like you're capturing the essence. You're going for like what the eye can see in like a given moment. So at the like you're capturing obviously like the essence, but like also maybe like the passage of time all in a single painting, which I think is pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Not to mention it has like its own unique style of painting. So that's my favorite.
Would you say you were impressed by it?
Minus 10 points to Hannah for that awful pun.
Take away your extra credit points from the last
Yeah.
podcast.
Aww. See, that's my favorite type of art medium is puns.
Is comedy art?
It could be.
Yeah, I think it could be.
I see. That's the thing. I feel like everything can be considered art to people.
Yeah.
Anyway, to
Like the
express
fart,
yourself.
the fart that I did 20 minutes ago, that was art, okay?
Yeah.
And it's
That's
even
full
better the
expression.
fact, even better the fact that it rhymes with art.
But
Wow.
Yeah,
not a comedian, Kyle. Get over it.
you get over it. You're just jealous.
Nah.
You farted 30 minutes ago, so she beat you to it.
Yeah.
All right. So Trevor, you're done with your question or your
Yep,
answer?
that was it.
Okay.
Yep.
So now we're on to this last segment. Positive, something positive for the past week. Does anybody want to start?
I can. No one else wants to.
Go for it.
You know, I think I started last week, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, alright.
Okay. For me, something positive is sorry, Dad, but my dad's out of town this week, and he's out of town next week, and I get the house all to myself, and it's really nice to just kind of be at the house alone without him around. Not that he's like a bad roommate or anything, but it's just nice to have a house to yourself. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it, but it's pretty cool to just kind of do your own thing
Yeah.
and not really worry
Yeah,
about
we
other
moved
people's.
Oh my god, can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
Back in my senior year of high school, it was my parents' 25th anniversary, and they were going to go to Fiji. I mean, they did go to Fiji, and like we had the opportunity to go as well, my brother and I. But like, they were gonna have us pay for it, which what
Lame.
kind of high school student has $1,000 to spare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Weird.
So I didn't want to like work my ass off just for like a week-long trip.
Yeah.
So we had the house to ourselves, and Taylor throws a party. And I sat in my room for most of it,
Oh
just playing
shit.
video games. So that's the kind of person I am.
Wait,
I'd
Trevor, how come
rather-
you didn't invite me over?
Because you were popular
You were-
toddler.
Yeah, you
Damn.
were probably like 4
No.
years old.
Nuh-uh.
In diapers.
Senior year, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so 17 minus 9. No, 17 minus 8 is something.
9.
9.
It's nice.
Nice. You are a baby.
So I was in 4th grade,
Oh,
okay? I
yikes.
think you could have invited me over. You should have had more courtesy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Come on over.
All right.
Kyle just hops into like a trip as a 9-year-old. It's like road trip.
Oh my god.
Was that your positive thing though? That wasn't very positive.
Oh no, that was just a weird story
Oh.
about being alone.
And how he enjoyed it.
Was there drinking involved?
For Taylor and his friends, yeah.
Wow. I never did that in high school. I mean, I've never actually had any alcohol before, but
Aw, they don't
in
need-
high school, I never really went to like any parties or anything like that.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't drink.
I wasn't really into
I actually didn't have my first drink until I was probably like 25 or something.
Same.
No, later than that, probably 28.
it. Damn. So like about
Yeah.
40 years ago then?
Yeah.
Just about
Aw.
Sorry, I had to.
39 if you want to be specific.
39 and a half. Yeah.
Oh my god. All right.
Zing.
All right. Something positive, guys. Come on.
So
Yeah.
for me, I discovered something new. So I've never been a big fan of Kiss. I don't know. I think their songs can be very repetitive at some point. But
No, that's fair. Yeah.
we were watching The Umbrella Academy, and there was a song at the end of one of the episodes, and I was like, man, I really like this song. It's like a really catchy
Freaking
song.
knew it! We
And
were
then
just talking about this.
And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh shit, it's a Kiss song. And I was like, oh, well, I discovered I liked one of their songs.
Literally, like earlier this week, Kyle and I were talking about the same exact song, and how I was like, "Hey, Kyle, do you like Kiss?" And you were like, "Eh," and I was like, oh, "Okay, I'm kind of an fan too, but I really like this song."
Yeah.
I was made for loving you.
Yeah.
It's the exact song I said.
Yep. That's funny.
Small world.
Did Hannah go?
So Gigi likes Kiss.
I like what song?
Gigi's gonna dress up like all the Kiss fans
Oh,
did, and probably still do.
Like
But yeah,
Gene
that's gonna
Simmons at
be
the top.
No.
Yeah.
Gigi's
I
gonna
like
stick her tongue
one
out all the time.
song.
What's
Perfect.
Oh man.
What's your positive, Trevor?
Okay. I usually don't buy new clothes. I've had a lot of clothes since like high school. I've outgrown them, but typically I'll rewear them until like they no longer fit.
Mhm.
And I bought new pair of shoes, new pair of pants, and they're both amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like
He's wearing them now.
some people,
I think
they
he
go
is.
clothes shopping like every fucking week or something. But I hate clothes shopping. So, like buying new clothes is kind of momentous for me.
Why do you hate it?
It's so boring, especially with Gigi, because like
What?
she's so short. Like nothing fits, so it takes her so long just to find like a single pair of pants. I'm like, I have better things to do than this. I don't want to waste all my time doing that.
Poor Trevor.
I know, I have to
Girl-
suffer through that.
Girl clothes are so hard. They don't do it like guys, and they're like, oh, here, this is your length and your waist. Oh, look,
Yeah,
they
'cause
make it for everything. But
Guys
no.
are sensible.
Oh my god.
Well, if women's clothes were like
32
that,
is
it'd be
32
easier.
inches. Yeah, if women's actually, didn't fucking kid themselves into
If
thinking, oh,
women's.
size 0
I know.
is actually a size, then there wouldn't be that harder. of
Yeah,
a-
and
There's
I'm
also
not the
a
one that
double
made the
zero.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a double 0?
A
I've
stick.
never
A
understood
toothpick.
women's clothes.
I
No
don't
one
Sizes.
either.
No one does.
So it's not my fault that I can't find pants.
It's our
Oh.
ancestors' fault.
I noticed.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna
No, go
say
ahead.
for me, when it comes to clothes shopping, I'm only happy when I'm only happy to do it and having a good time doing it when I feel good about myself. If that makes sense. So like
When
if
you're
I'm
buying your double zeros.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like if I'm feeling like really like sluggish or like I just had a big lunch or something and then someone's like, "Oh, let's go clothes shopping." I'm like, "This isn't my natural form though. I can't clothes shop like this. You don't
This
understand."
isn't even my final form.
I'm
Yeah.
over 9,000.
Yeah, I have to make sure that I'm starving myself at least for 5 days before. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course.
No,
Oh,
but yeah,
goodness.
yeah, it's only when I'm in the mood, really, because I do like clothes shopping, just not all the time.
Well, not all of us can look like Syndrome's assistant in The Incredibles, who's like a toothpick.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
So,
What was her name? Mirage? I think
think
Mirage,
it's
so.
yeah.
Mirage.
Hannah?
My positive. I almost forgot about this, but earlier this week I had a meeting with some recruiters from a studio, and they were
Oh
going
shit.
over some stuff from their storyboard program, and just like going over stuff with storyboard artists that are already working there, and how they went through this like training program that was specifically for getting recruited into the studio. So I got to be part of that, and that was really cool. And
Nice.
Yeah,
got like 4 pages worth of notes on stuff. And
Hannah
so
loves taking her notes.
Yeah.
I do love taking my notes. But yeah, I did that. And then the other thing that I did this week was I finalized my designs for my little D&D character, which is very exciting for me.
Cool.
'Cause I've been looking at like all sorts of reference for like weeks, and I couldn't really figure out. Like I had like an initial sketch that I did, but now I feel like I've more finalized it, so that always makes me happy.
Hmm. Nice. All right.
Okay, looks like that's it.
That is it. And yeah, so thanks for joining us. And
Yeah, what did Kyle call you? Pork chops?
juicy pork chops.
Well, given the questions, I think we should change it to porn chops.
Oh god.
Oh, zing. All right. Anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day and continue to do so, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Episode 10!
Pew, pew, pew.